Poker Dice Solitaire Future. Wait a minute, that can't be right. It feels like the creators just took 4 descriptive words and put them together. The title just feels wrong. That's like the best way I can put it. Like someone translated it wrong from a different language. The guy who made this should just call this like Poker Dice. Or maybe add in the solitaire part because it's a one-player game, but it's really not necessary. Is this supposed to be like, this is what solitaire is in the future? A very boring dice game. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stick to regular solitaire. This is the 3rd game that I reviewed from this publisher. Really, the Wii U has a drought of AAA games right now, so I'm diving into the indie pool of games in the eShop right now. This publisher has also made WiiU and Shut the Box. He tends to make simplistic games with minimal visual style. Now, I would say this kind of follows suit, except it looks better visually than the other 2 games. Now, talking about the visuals, I do have to say this is going to be the same basic screen through the entire review. Unlike the other 2 games where the cards disappeared or there were different levels to show off, this is just one screen that mostly didn't change. Just the dice changes. So sorry if it's a bit boring to look at, as there really is nothing to show. Visually, like I said, it looks better than his other 2 titles. The art styles of the categories is very futuristic and fun to look at, for a few seconds. Then it gets old. The dice numbers are really the only thing that changes. And I found the 2 colors really hard to read sometimes. On the big screen it was fine, but most of the time you're going to be looking at the gamepad, and there was quite a few times where I was squinting to try and make out the number. If you've ever played the game Yahtzee, then you know how to play this game. It's almost the same, with the exception that you're going to have 4 chances in each category. Each of these categories represents a winning poker hand. Well, with the exception of a small straight or 5 of the same number. If you try and use 5 of the same number in a poker game, I don't think it's going to end very well for you. But this is a future game, so maybe in the future, everything's crazier. So why don't we just improve poker by adding 13 more cards? Sure, why not? They give you 3 rolls to try and make the dice rolls fit in the categories. You can hold any of the dice at any time you want to get the roll that you want. However, at the end of 3 rolls, you're going to need to put the dice roll in one of the categories. If you can't do it, you're going to have to choose one of the categories to lose a chance on in a future roll. After the game is over, they'll give you a few stats, and then you can choose whether you're going to stop playing or replay. That's it. That's the whole game. It doesn't even tell you what the high score is. If you do beat your high score, it'll tell you that you did, but it won't tell you what the number was that you beat. It was very odd. This seems like something that you would just automatically put in. Overall, the game was kind of boring and really repetitive. Even a game like Shut the Box had some exciting gameplay, and I use the word exciting in a very loose way. And while it was simple, the game didn't drag on. This title has just lost its sense of fun about 2 minutes in. If I was to rank this developer's games, I would say Shut the Box is the best and the most reasonably priced, with WiiU next, and coming up the rear would be this title. Now, I don't normally talk about the music in the games, mainly because it's not usually an issue, unless that's the main gimmick of the game. However, the background music in this title was just awful. It would grate on your nerves very quickly. Poker Dice Solitaire Future looked good. It's too bad that the futuristic graphics didn't make the game any better. The gameplay was repetitive and dull, and the soundtrack will make you dive for your remote to mute the TV. The worst part about the title is that it's currently selling for $1.99. Just like WiiU, I think this game shouldn't have sold for any more than 99 cents. For that reason and the ones I've stated previously, I think you should just skip this game. Why don't you go ahead and check out one of the publisher's other games that I've reviewed, Shut the Box or WiiU. And like always, thanks for watching and please subscribe.